Hi, I'm Rick Bell, the gig coach. Welcome inside the workshop. I want to talk to you today about mindset, the mindset of a successful working entertainer. When you're in the entertainment business, it's a business. You're working, you're providing a service that someone wants to pay you for. There is some value to what you do. But you have to understand how to build something that the consumer, the customer, your audience wants. Far too many times in the music business, the performance business, we do what feels right to us. We play what we think the audience should like and what they want to hear. But that's not what works, because if that worked, there would be a lot more working musicians. You listening to me would probably have a lot more gigs than you do. So I currently, and I'm not bragging, I'm just trying to help you and share some information with you so you can do this, because I've done it a very long time and I'm not that, too motivated to keep doing these many gigs every week. But I work 5 days playing. When I say work, I don't do a day job. This is my full-time day job. I play gigs many times at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, several days a week. And then the same night, I'll play a 7 p.m. gig and sometimes a later gig, 3-hour type thing. So I'm a full-time working musician. I've been doing this since 2008. In 2008, my day job went away. I was in the martial arts training, teaching business and management business for many years, probably 20 years, actually. When I was doing that, I was on the part-time doing music. I've done music my whole life, but I had a passion for teaching martial arts. And the thing that made me, and I became very successful in the martial arts industry because I had some things I came up with, some teaching concepts, the same way I like to teach in the gig coach. I was doing martial arts in those days. But the mindset I came up with was the traditional martial arts that I was taught when I was coming up. Most customers potential students didn't care about that stuff. What they cared about was learning to defend themselves as quickly as they could. If it was a parent enrolling their child, they wanted the child to have self-esteem and confidence and be able to protect himself as quickly as possible. So I started to do away with some of the old customs in the martial arts schools that were real strict, and they really didn't help move you to the goal of learning to defend yourself. So I started stripping some of those away. And of course, I would always catch flack from the martial arts instructors when I was a consultant and I would go to their school. I had several martial arts schools myself, but I would go to their school and teach them how to get more students, how to enroll. And they would always say, yeah, but that's not traditional. And I would say, who's going to worry about that? They would say, well, my friends are going to roast me, my martial arts friends, my other black belt friends, my martial artists circle. And I would say, yeah, so are they enrolling in your class and paying you to teach them? And they would say, well, no, they're not. So the point is, I would say they don't matter. When it comes to musicians, when it comes to what we do to make a living, some of the things you're going to have to do to have consistent income, if you want to do that, you're going to have to adapt a different way of thinking. If you're a solo artist, you're going to have to play with track music. You're going to have tracks behind you. Let me say this for the 100th time. I'm a good guitar player. I've been teaching guitar for many years. All this stuff you see, all these guitars, these things were earned from me playing the guitar. I know how to play. I know how to teach music theory. I know I can play jazz. I can play pretty much anything. You're not going to ever be good enough to play solo acoustic guitar and sing and stay booked all the time, unless you have a record deal and you're famous. And that's a whole different animal. That doesn't even apply to this. You are going to have to accept the fact that you're going to play with track music. No, it's not karaoke. And even if it was, who cares? If they want you, they're going to pay you to do this. Again, if you just want to play to be an artist and do your art, that's fine. You can play for free, play for tips forever. And you'll be competing with a lot of other people playing for free, playing for tips forever. But if you want to make money doing this, I can show you the ways that I had to learn on my own to do it, but have been very lucrative. I'm always hesitant to throw numbers around income. I don't like to talk about income, certainly not on a YouTube video. But suffice to say, I make more now playing full time, and that's 5-6 days a week, multiple shows. I make more now than I did as the president of a corporation, a national corporation. I was president for 13 years of one of the largest martial arts billing management firms in America. So it's a doable thing, but you have to break out of the mindset of, well, my musician friends are going to call me a karaoke player, or I'm playing with tracks. That's cheating. That's not a purist thing. Who cares? If you want to play gigs, you have to bring the audience what they want. If you wanted to open a restaurant, you put all your money into this place and you said, I am the most fantastic cook of Norwegian pretzels in America. I'm the best. So I'm going to open a restaurant and I'm going to just sell Norwegian pretzels. There may be a market for Norwegian pretzels. I don't even know what they are. I've just made that up. But if that's all you're going to do is sell what you want to sell, you're not going to be successful. When you go to a restaurant, the reason it's packed is because their menu has things that people want. That's the only thing that makes you successful in the market, is giving the market what the market wants. So your mindset needs to begin to change. I realize it's not an overnight thing, but you have to begin to accept and embrace the concept that you're not playing to please or impress or get approval from your musician friends. If you are serious about doing this, and all I ever wanted to do was play the guitar. I just wanted, when I was a kid, I picked up a guitar when I was 6 years old, and I had a musical ability. I had an ear where I could hear it and play it. And by the time I was 10, I was in a little band, and I was in a professional band playing lead guitar by the time I was 14. So I've been doing it a very long time, but I wanted to make a living, doing it. And I knew the only way I would be able to play guitar for the rest of my life was to find a way to monetize that talent. So the greatest thing I ever found was track music, and I'll never forget, and it wasn't tracks in those days, it was MIDI music, MIDI, MIDI music, computer generated. It was in the mid to late 80s, 1980s, when computers, the Macintosh computer, the Apple, first came out, and it had something called Mark of the Unicorn, MIDI software, and you could write and produce MIDI songs. You could write horn parts and strings and everything, bass parts. I saw a duo playing a major concert in Shreveport, Louisiana. There must have been 10,000 people. It was a major main stage concert. And there were two guys, one with a bass guitar and one with a lead guitar. And they were playing the most amazing, at the time, Bryan Adams stuff I've ever heard. It sounded, I ran to get closer to them. The crowd was, like I said, 10,000 deep. And I ran and pressed to get up closer. What are these guys doing? Where is that sound coming from? And they just had a rack mount MIDI synth generating those sounds, all the backing sounds of the band. So immediately, I just dove into that world. I ended up writing jingles and using that technology. So I became very versed at writing and producing track music. And I discovered in my band, I had a show band, and we played live and did that, and we were quite popular. But I wanted to add some horn parts in, and I knew I don't have any horn players. I don't have the budget to hire horn players. So I said, I think I'll use some tracks. And I put the tracks in and, got the click and everything, and the drummer began to play with it. The audience responded immediately, and they never stopped responding. We started bringing in more tracks to where we ended up being a pretty much track show the band played, with tracks behind us, because that's what the audience wanted. That's what they wanted. I'm sure there were musicians that would say, those guys cheat. They're not really playing. No, we were really playing, but we just had tracks backing us up. And really at the end of the day, if you're in this to make money, how much money are you making? For me, I have a house payment. I have electricity, the electric bill I have to pay. Have a couple of vehicles out there. Have a Harley Davidson in the garage. I have bills to pay. So I have to work and give the audiences what they want. And if you'll give them what they want, they'll give you the money for doing it. So all I ever wanted to do was play guitar from the time I was a kid. And I had to find a way to do that. And the only way to do it was with track music. When I started playing us as a solo act with tracks behind me, I was free to play anything I wanted on my guitar. I didn't have to carry the show with all the chords and then, stop and play a lead riff with no other sound. And I didn't have to use a looper. That whole thing, that's a thing in of itself. You can do that for a while, 20 minutes or so, but after that, the crowd's not impressed anymore. It's kind of just all the same. It's a loop. Not knocking it, man, it's great. Some of you guys are great loopers. I'm just saying what I found that works are familiar songs that they know that they will relate to. They don't really care about how great a looper you are. That's only cool for the first, like I said, 10 minutes. And after that, they're back talking to their friends or looking at their phone or whatever. But I was able to play the guitar. I'm able to play it now every day and night. Sometimes I have 3 gigs a day. And why is that? Is it because I'm fantastic? No. It's because I learned some things that I'm trying to teach you in this course. My booked solid Playing Solo for Good Money course. The secrets that I found out over the years to build an act that will work, that people will pay you for and buyers will want to hire you for. So stay tuned for more Gig Coach workshop information coming your way. Keep on gigging. If you haven't signed up for the Gig Coach workshop newsletter, please do so now. Go to thegigcoach.com. That's thegigcoach.com and sign up for the workshop. We'll send you some really cool stuff and a lot more videos like this one. Thanks.